think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing, winds that make the tall grass.
Hi, my name is Larry White, and I am your producer and director of The Inner Beat. The Inner Beat is a socially conscious program that sometimes showcases cultural events as well as community events. And occasionally, we'll even bring you a little song and dance. So sit back and enjoy The Inner Beat.
It's just like the King birthday. King's birthday is a national holiday. Students all over the country have the day off, but what do they know of Dr. King? What do they know of his ideas? I mean, I would rather not close the schools and maybe have a whole day where his ideas are actually being studied than close the schools and let people engage in any kind of activity that they want. If we're really serious about preserving these ideas and pushing these ideas forward, then we have to do some hard work. And if Dr. King's birthday is a national holiday, they're establishing a national monument that's going to open this Sunday, there is no reason why our high school students shouldn't have read most of Dr. King's books by the time they walk across that stage and get their diplomas. But if we're serious about preserving Dr. Clarke's memory, I think that that would be a good thing. And we have to do more to popularize the works of Dr. Clarke. I would suggest maybe get some of his essays, if we can, and put them in pamphlet form and leaflet form and distribute them. Some of his essays, you know, one of the good things about WBAI radio, how many of you still listen? I know there's a lot of controversy, but how many of you listen to WBAI radio? One of the good things one of the best things I ever heard come through the radio was the first time I heard them play a speech by Dr. Clarke on WBAI radio. You know, for a long time, they weren't playing Dr. Clarke's speeches. But then we have people down there like Bernard White at one time, and I wish he was still back down there. I wish we could get him back down there at WBAI, but Bernard and others helped make that possible. And people who had never heard of Dr. Clarke could actually hear what he had to say and hear his ideas. But maybe we could reissue some of his works in pamphlet form and leaflet form and have some of his essays maybe serialized in some of our community newspapers and black newspapers. Because his ideas, when you listen to Dr. Clarke, when they have these fundraising drives, Dr. McIntosh on BAI, and I listen to Dr. Clarke, he might have made that speech back in 1995, but it sounds like he is talking about today, right now, today. That's how relevant his ideas were. And that's how you know really somebody's ideas are really relevant. That's why when we listen to Malcolm X, we never get tired of listening to Malcolm X, right? Why don't we ever get tired of listening to Malcolm X? Because black people are just about in the same shape today as we were in 1965 before Malcolm X was assassinated. That's why his ideas are still relevant. That's why Dr. Clarke's ideas are still relevant. Because as much as things have changed, and this is one of the things I liked about Dr. Clarke. Dr. Clarke was brutally honest. He was brutally honest. He was a Pan-Africanist, no doubt about it. Dyed-in-the-wool black nationalist, Pan-Africanist, but he was not a romanticist. And he was not afraid of calling people out when they needed to be called out. And he was not afraid of exposing ideas for being half-baked if they were half-baked, and irrelevant if they were irrelevant. He was a realist, And that's one of the things I love the most about Dr. Clarke. And he was not a prisoner of ideology. His mind, his scope was so expansive, and maybe it's because he had seen the sweep of history for almost the entire 20th century. I met Dr. Clarke. I had been to Dr. Clarke's house, but I tell you the truth. In my heart of hearts, I am ashamed of the fact that I did not call on Dr. Clarke even more to be in the city of Newark and give his lectures and so forth. And that is why those elders that we still have among us today, we got to make use of those elders, brothers and sisters. We can't let those elders go by the wayside. We got to make use of their wisdom. You know, I don't know if she's, there she is. Sister Sanford was in Newark, New Jersey yesterday, speaking at a conference. I could sit and listen to Sister Adelaide Sanford all day long. She should never have a time limit imposed on her speaking, because she has something to say. And we need to let those elders who have something to say speak, brothers and sisters. What lesson do I draw as a community organizer from Dr. Clarke? I remember one time, and maybe you all remember this also. Dr. Clarke said, if you want to know who your greatest ally is, do what? Look in the mirror. He said, look in the mirror. Now, I know a lot has happened, and I know we do a lot of things in terms of strategy and tactics. And I know it's important for us to do coalition building. Any of you who are familiar with the work of POP over the last 27 years know that we worked just about in every coalition that we've had in New Jersey. But I'm telling you that while we build coalitions with other constituencies and other groups, the primary work we have to do is still to build unity in the black community. That lesson is still the primary lesson that faces us today. And one of the reasons that we're in the shape we are today is because our unity is not as strong as it should be. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Maybe too many reasons to delineate at this point. But we have to unify, brothers and sisters, our people. You know, this isn't just a matter of getting some reforms, getting some black people in office, getting some black people in jobs and corporations, changing the names of streets, getting more programs. No, those things are needed. But you know what we're facing now? We stand at the crossroads of the very survival of black people in America. The destruction of our people is literally on the agenda. And it's not just a question that they have rolled back this and rolled back that. These people are trying to destroy us.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be.